So from then on, life at Portland got quite easy. Not easy. It was still Portland, but I didn't get so much of a hard time. I spent most of my time at the gym. I used to train. We'd play football. I got supremely fit. I got to the point where I could run half marathons quite easily. I used to play back-to-back football matches. I became quite good at most sports, and I really enjoyed the camaraderie and the team effort of it. And I started to get some good friends in prison. The Jamaican that I was friends with in the carpentry shop became a really good friend. And we used to sit and talk about, our families on the outside and what life was like in Jamaica and my life growing up in Cornwall and things. And it was a really good bunch of people. We used to sit around playing cards and the longer I was there, the easier it got. I remember being on the wing. I remember I had to be on the wing at one point, and I was just sat around in the middle of the day, and it was quite odd. There was no one around, so I was just wondering where everyone was. And you kind of look, and there's normally a cleaner about, or normally a couple of people hanging out of someone's cell, just sort of chatting and laughing and stuff. But there was no one. There was no one on the wing at all. So I went looking, and the way the wing was set up is you'd have maybe 5 or 6 landings, and then you had the main sort of floor at the bottom, and then underneath that was 2 or 3 floors. They weren't underground, but they were just kind of, one of them might have been underground, but it was just the way that the floor was set up that you could still go under 2 or 3 floors down from what seemed like the main floor in the prison. And everyone was downstairs. They'd gone to the furthest point away from the office, which was the shower room at the end of the association area. And because it was open for cleaning, it wasn't normally open during the day, because there were cleaners, they got it open. And there was what can only be described as some sort of boxing-style fight club in the showers. And it was completely professional. They had a referee. They had a ring set up. It wasn't a free-for-all. There was 3-minute rounds. If the person was getting beat, then the fight was stopped. You know what I mean? It was great, but it was prison boxing. And I got involved, and it was great fun. Because we had boxing gloves made of you'd get a prison oven glove, and you'd put one on, and then you'd jam another one on over the top, so you got 2 oven gloves on each hand, and you'd kind of ball your hand up into a fist, and it would work as a decent boxing glove. And we boxed, and we, for a few days. I think it went on for about 2 weeks before everyone started having black eyes and broken noses and stuff, and the staff kind of knew what was going on, so that all got stopped. But yeah, I learned to box in prison, and it was great fun. I then progressed in the gym. I got what we call a red band, so I was allowed to then not only just have the freedom within the gym, but I'd have the freedom of the prison, really. I was, in America they call it a trustee. The prison staff, the gym staff would give me like a list of stuff I needed to go and do, and I'd have this little wooden fucking Snoopy-style crate on wheels to go around the prison and pick up all the stuff. I'd go and pick up gym kit, and I'd go and get fucking... cleaning products and stuff, and I'd just go and hang around. Bearing in mind this was the summer, so it's good. It's I'm out. It's warm for once, and I'm out and about. I've got the freedom of the prison, so life was looking all right for me. I was getting to the point of getting parole, so everything was looking good. I was a trusted prisoner. I'd behaved myself as far as the prison was concerned, and everything was looking favourable for me now. I was getting into the last 6 months of my sentence. And this is when everything starts to get real again, because you start getting to, your probation officer gets in touch, and, all these different entities want to come and talk to you and see how you've behaved and everything. And one of the things that actually stuck with me when they came to speak to me was they said that, Adam, because you've behaved the whole way through, we haven't got a point to work from, because you came in good, and you're coming to us now good. If you'd come in and been a shitbag and had fights and been trouble and blah, 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 and then turned your life around for year 2, you would have been much more likely to breeze through the parole process. But because you've just come in being good and stayed good, we haven't got a point to work from, so we can't show any progression. So all that stuff they told me about keeping my head down, they might as well just told me to go in there windmilling and just fucking sort it out after the first year. So yeah, that was a kind of kick in the teeth, but it didn't matter. It was all good. I progressed from the gym. I got offered a job on the garden party that looked after the gardens outside of the prison walls. So this was not only being trusted inside the prison, but I was now being given an opportunity to join a gang of lads that went outside of the prison walls to go and cut the grass in the prison gardens and the surrounding areas outside of the prison. Now this was highly trusted because you're just with one old boy. I think he was some sort of 60-year-old gardener, and there was about 6 of us who just used to cruise around with him and just cut grass and plant flowers and deadhead rose bushes and things like this. You know, I mean, it was easy life. It was great fun. We sat around. You know, there'd be girls going past on horses back and stuff, and we, you know, bear in mind we haven't seen any decent looking women in years, and they're suddenly, you know, they're going past and seeing all these young fit lads lying around in the grass, and it's great fun. It's great fun. Finally, the day came around that I got out. Now, getting out in prison is a day that you're waiting for. Yeah, I would have it circled on the calendar. It would be, you'd count down the weeks, the days, the hours sometimes to when you're getting out. Time does start to slow down. The time goes the quickest in the middle section. Like, it's slow to start with, and then it's slow at the end, and in the middle it just flies by. But I was getting into that point now where it was the last few days getting out, and it was coming back into December again, because I'd got my parole. I was in the last 2 years, I'd done 2 years, and I'm getting back into December again to get out. So it's cold, it's miserable, but none of that matters because I'm getting out. You get your stuff back. When you get to the reception area, first thing in that morning, you get your stuff back, and it's been in that airtight, sealed plastic bag. It literally has one of those big, thick plastic cable ties on it. And when you open it up, you can smell the outside. You can smell the aftershave you wore on the day to court. You pick up your hoodie or your t-shirt, and it smells like home. And you don't realise you've missed that smell. And you don't realise that your clothes shouldn't smell the way they've been smelling. You know, you smell like a prison. I hadn't had a haircut for a little while, so I wanted to get a haircut from a girl who was trained in hairdressing, not just some smackhead on the wing who was having a go. So one of the first things I did when I come out of prison is I went and got a fry-up, a nice big greasy fry-up at a calf. And the second thing I did is when I got my hair cut. It probably wasn't the best idea to tell the girl that I'd just come out of prison, because she seemed to cut my head at my hair at arm's reach after that. It wasn't the best haircut in the world, but hey, I was out. The train took hours to get back to the southwest, which is where I'm from. I think it was like a 5-hour, 6-hour train ride, something like that. It took me so long that the probation staff had even thought I'd done a runner before I'd even managed to get back to where I was supposed to be. My ex-girlfriend came to meet me when I did get back to my home area, and it was weird because I'd changed. I had gone from being someone who used to just sell a little bit of drugs to, you know, the local lads, to progressing very quickly through the ranks in crime, to committing an armed robbery. She stood by me through some of it. She didn't know most of it, but we'd broken up after about being 6 months away, so I hadn't seen or really heard from her for 18 months. And she came to see me, and it was an odd meeting, because again, I wasn't the same person. You're a jacked up little punk, really, who acts tough because you've been around all these gorillas for all this time, and you do these things and say these things to act tough in prison, but it doesn't cut it on the outside, and most people don't want to know you. So we just instantly had that kind of culture shock again, so it wasn't ever going to work out. Not right then, but it may happen again in future. A lot of my friends had moved on from when I got out. It was 2 years later. I got banged up at the end of 2000, and I was getting out at the end of 2002, It was just getting into Christmas time, so a lot of people were spending time with their families and stuff. And I wanted to party. I wanted to come out, and I wanted to spend the little bit of money that I had. And I wanted to get pissed up, and I wanted to spend time with my friends like I used to. A lot of people didn't want to do that. Now, my little brother was hanging around with one of my pals who did want to do that. He just sat around drinking all day, so I zeroed in on him and was like, yes. Now, unfortunately, this friend used to like riding around in stolen cars and being a shitbag. But that's all I wanted at that time. It was more relatable to other people than other people hanging around with them. My life was a misery. I'd just come out, I had nothing, I had no friends, no family. So yeah, I wanted to sit around drinking all day with this guy. It was great fun. We had girls hanging around us, and because I'd been to prison, I was instantly in this higher echelon of scumbag amongst scumbags. Yeah, I was put on a bit of a pedestal, and I enjoyed it. And it was nice being around girls and alcohol and partying again. So I partied almost every day for 2 weeks. One day me and this lad, we grabbed together everybody's money, and we went up to the local supermarket to go and get some beers. And because it was Christmas, they'd put on this promotion, and there was all these stacks of beer right in the doorway of the fucking supermarket. And we kind of just looked at each other and thought, fuck it, why not? And he grabbed the fucking crate of beer, and we just kind of laughed and walked out, even though we had all the money in our pocket to buy it. It just fucking, after a few beers and in a bit of a stupid mood, he did it. Getting outside, the security guard grabbed us straight away, and because I hadn't actually done anything, I was like, hey, I'm not going to run anywhere. He legged it off, and I stayed there, and I gave him false details because I didn't want to get caught for anything, but the police were already there, and I got arrested. And I then realised I was going to the police station again for something stupid within 2 weeks of being out of prison. So I quickly gave him the right details, and I was saying, look, this is stupid. I'm wrong place, wrong time. I shouldn't have fucking been doing this. We had the money, blah, blah, blah. Here's my real name. I'm really, really sorry. And they said, it's okay, it's fine. Don't worry. Your parole's not affected by this. You'll be fine. Just go home, go to bed. You'll be fine. And so I did. I went home, went to bed. About 10:30 that night, the police came and they took me. They took me back to the police station, and they said that I'd been recalled on my licence because I had the 4-year sentence and I was let out on good behaviour. Being caught up in this stupidness meant that I wasn't behaving. I was hanging around with people who were committing crimes, so I wasn't behaving myself. So they were going to send me back for the rest of my sentence. Fuck. So I was released at the beginning of December. I'd done 2 weeks out, and I was going to be heading back to prison the week before Christmas. After promising everybody that I was going to sort my life out and behave and get my act together, I was back in prison for stealing, not even stealing beer that I had money for. So yeah, that was a bit of a wake up. Back in the police cells, back in the court cells, back in the fucking prison cells, trying to explain to people that yes, the week before Christmas I got caught fucking nicking beer that I had money for, because I'm a knobhead. So yeah, back to prison again.